This is the new Nissan Frontier that's been refreshed. New exterior, some changes interior, and this is a Ford Ranger Lariat that we bought a couple years ago for my wife to drive around. In this video, let's check out these two trucks. Did we make the right decision by buying this one, or should we have bought that one? So let's talk about the exterior, interior. We'll talk about driving impressions. I've driven this one for years, and I've been driving this one around when the wife lets me. And let's talk about what's underneath the hood. Let's do the whole thing comparison because these trucks are very closely priced. Only $3,000 separates these two trucks. Let's do it today because it's exceptionally warm today in Nebraska. I'm loving 60-degree temperatures in January. I bet you would too. Can you believe it? In the North Midwest have 60-degree temperatures in January? I can't believe it either. Hey, it's Tim. Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. Let's get to all of that right now. Let's start with this Ford Ranger Lariat. It's a 2024 model. We bought it in December of 2024. And so we have the chrome toe hooks down there. We do have a engine block heater in there. I made a kind of a funny video about that, not knowing I had it. And boy, I got torn apart in the comments. So thank you for that, internet. Jesus criminy these days. We have the C channel lights there. We have the LED lights there as well. Performance LED. Sorry, pardon me. I have some different tires in this. I actually have some Kumho tires on here. If I can see them, they are Road Venture. I'm testing out different tires. I have a pair of is it Bridgestone or Firestone, one or two different types of tires. So that's not the stock tires that came with this truck. We have the chrome appearance package, which is no charge on the Lariat. So we have a little chrome there, the Lariat badging there. We did add the running boards that didn't come standard with this. Now this does have the bed step. This was an optional addition. Now this was not something that we ordered. So we bought this as a dealer demo, and this was a $215 option. This integrated bed step. I can tell you my wife is about 5'5", and she's a big fan of this step. She's used it quite a bit, really likes this step. Around the rear, we have the blind spot radar inside the tail lamp there. A lot of these tail lamps these days have a lot of integration. There's our backup sensors built into that. Now, Ranger spelled out there. And we've done some things, this tailgate area and the bed area. So we have the tonneau cover from Weston. And then we reached out the deck and have a decked drawer system in here. It's a single drawer that opens, slides out. And so this is all stuff we've added to it. But it's a spray-in bed liner. It does have some lights built into it, if I recall correctly. I think we covered up the lights when we put the bed in there, the deck system in there. So, but it has some tie-down spots. Had to remove a couple tie-down spots, put the deck system in there. So that was all part of this. The spray and bed liner, it was a $495 option. I saved the sales sticker, by the way, too. It does have the paint protection film on the outside and the secure code on the door, which is interesting. Ford tried to go away from this a little bit, not put it in their trucks, and it created quite a bit of controversy online. I was going to use a different word there. People were really upset about this. So it is an option in this truck, $95, but this did come with it. And then total price with all the options, everything, was $51,385, $370. We got a little bit of discount because, again, dealer demo. Chrome goes up over there as well. Here's our rear seats. Mid-size trucks these days, they don't have a lot of rear seating as far as rear seat room. I will tell you, my kids ride back here. I ride back here on occasion. It's okay. It's not a road trip vehicle. My teenage boys are 13 and 16, and we always end up taking our bigger truck because they just don't want to be squished back here. But for the occasional around town, pick up from school, they're totally fine with it. But yeah, it's not the best area back here for them. We do have some USBs. We do utilize this area. She has a little trash can sits back there. Uses the storage back here quite a bit for a variety of things she carries. And then here's her doors. Big fan of the Ford doors. I like just grabbing it here. Easy to use. The window control is there. Easy to get in and out of. It's nice. I like the way they do that. And then in the front, we'll try to beat the glare a little bit. I may have to flip this truck around. But we do use the seating position buttons. I'm number 2. My son's number 3 is learning to drive. Wife's number 1. That matters to you. But we do use those quite a bit. And then there is storage. She keeps her umbrella down here. Handy spot there. We do have some Lay's Fit floor liners. Added all-weather floor liners. And then we have a payload of 1,576 pounds. And we have... The seats have been pretty comfortable. We'll talk about that a little bit more with Nissan, because Nissan's known to have really comfortable seats. These have been pretty comfortable. We're going to go with the XLT for cloth seats. We ended up going Lariat, just because what they had in the dealership lot that day. And she's been really happy with these. She does some fairly sizable road trips for work. A couple hours out, a couple hours back, and she's had no complaints to these seats. She does like the bigger screen. She's a tech girl, so she likes Apple CarPlay pulled up. Does a lot of podcasts for long road trips. Likes having her music, maps pulled up there. We do have the Screen Pro Tech cover on here. If you guys haven't talked about this in different videos, but this little cover goes on top of here. Really big fan of that. Keeps the smudges off. You can see it. I haven't even cleaned the screen at all. Smudges are off. Scratches are off. We have a screen protector over here as well. Keeps the digital display off. I'll hop in here in a minute and turn it on so you can see that. Controls here for the cruise control. We have the blinkers here, and the wipers there, and the buttons to control the radio. The shifter here, different drive modes, and as far as the turn dial for four-wheel drive, and different quick buttons there. So overall, big fan of it. This did come with the secure code, or excuse me, secure code kind of safe. She's been kind of 50-50 on this. It came from dealership. We left it in there because we figured we'd try it out. She goes to church, drops her stuff in there. I don't know. She's kind of been 50-50 on that. I can tell you that for a fact. She likes seating position. She likes the view of the road. She sees over stuff pretty well. And one of the things that kind of stood out to me when I was looking around at it was how much taller this Ford Ranger is versus Nissan Frontier. Let's go over there and look at that. And I'll grab the sales sticker for Frontier as I walk over there. But as you walk across, and I was sitting these up today, I was moving them back and forth, getting them lined up. I'm going to take a step back for you guys. And just take a quick step back. And yeah, let me adjust the camera a little bit. But it's interesting how much taller the Ford Ranger looks. Now, these Como tires, or Kumo, I may get that wrong, they're about an inch taller than the stock Ford Ranger. So it could be the tires, but it is interesting when you stand back and look at these. The Ford Ranger, maybe the chrome, maybe the width or something, it just looks more imposing in person than the Nissan Frontier. Nissan Frontier to me looks just smaller, which, I don't know, good thing, bad thing, whatever. There's your red toe hooks down there. Now this is going to have more of a skid plate down there. You can see that versus just our air dam down there, which is that black air dam. I'll go down and show you that one there too. And we have a more skid plate down there. This is more of an off-road version with the Pro 4X. This is more of what we do, more dirt roads, more city driving. This is more of a go out in that field kind of driving than this Lariat would be. We have a new front look to this, redesigned this as far as a refresh, keep it new. The Nissan Frontier is a big model for Nissan, and they sell a lot of these things. It's known to be really reliable, almost as reliable as the Toyota Tacoma, which is the top as far as reliability in this segment. Ford Ranger, pretty good. Not as good as the Frontier. Come around the sides. I'm going to grab this. Maybe 1 second. Grab the sticker here for the pricing. We'll come around the back, and you can see Pro 4X badging there, which means we should have some Hankook Dynamic AT2 off-road kind of tires. The black matted wheel there that says Nissan. If I can look in there, yeah, there we go. You can see that blue back there. That's the Bilstein shock. So more of an off-road shock. But I'm just going to back up for a second, and you guys can kind of see the tailgate's kind of lined up. And I don't know, just, I guess maybe in person, the Ranger just looks bigger. Maybe it's the way it's parked. I don't, just my 2 cents on it. Looks bigger. I don't have any tailgate step or side bed step like the Ford has. You see the Ford's got the chrome handles. The Frontier does not. Body color match. I do like the green. I'm a big sucker for green. Just trying to see what the color. Tell me what the color is on the sales sticker. Doesn't look like they say it. It's too bad. It's a pretty green. So we'll come along the sides. It says it's premium paint. Okay, after a quick Google search, it says tactical green metallic. It's kind of crazy. It says lava red toe hooks on there, but it doesn't say what the paint color is on this sales sticker. It's too bad. There's the new Nissan logo. If you haven't seen it the last couple of years, they made an update there. The Pro 4X is blacked out there, which I really like. And then the Frontier is embossed in the rear of the tailgate. Same thing with the Ranger. It's a trend they've been doing last couple of years. I like it. Stands out really nice. So you see that embossment as a Ranger there. And the same idea here. Actually, if you just stand back, look at these tailgates are pretty damn similar. So I have handle, I have logo, I have embossed name. Handle, logo, embossed name. Pretty damn similar. The only difference is the chrome there on the Ranger, and then the light. You see this little hooded thing right here? This is the light that would shine down, comes down, and then on the Frontier, the light is right here that shines down. So not very many differences. There's a dampened tailgate, which is nice. The Ranger's got dampened tailgate as well. There's our tie-down spots, spray and bed liner. Lights there. This is the Utilitrack system. You basically undo that. You can slide that back and forth and put your tie-down spots wherever you want them. You can pull them off and put them back there as well. Good spot to listen around. There is a power in the bed, which is a 120 volt, 400 watt max. The Ford Ranger has that as well. It's our decked slide system covers that up. You can get to it. There's a spot on the side of the drawer system to get to that power, but they both have power in the bed. It's nice. One hand. Close the tailgate. Don't have to throw it up there anymore. Just a handy little thing. I know. Real men can take 2 hands and do it. Well, you know, if you're not filming, you can. All right, so here in the rear seat area, in the Frontier, a little more, I would say, bland interior, which is too bad, more plasticky. Although, you know, plastic's always controversial, right? So on the one hand, it looks kind of cheap. Other hand, it's easy to clean, especially for off-road environment, and it holds up well, long term. But, I don't know, you guys can let me know in the comments. I do like the little padded for your armrest here. Nice pad there. I would say this has about the same leg room as the Ford Ranger has, and the seats are going to be pretty similar. Nissan seats tend to be a little bit more comfortable, but I would say in this case we're really close in both ways in comfort. We do have the USBs and power. I don't have a little cubby hole spot like we did in the Ford Ranger. Same kind of setup there. I wonder if these come up at all. Oh, there's a thing that allows them to. That's probably a two-handed deal. Oh, jeez. All right, we'll try this. Try to hold the camera and do it. All right. And I don't have any storage down there. Storage over there. All right. And then in the Ford Ranger, let's see. I think it's just a one-handed deal. I thought I did it earlier. So let's see if this does it. All right. All right, there's our storage bin down there. It's a handle right here in the front. So both opens there. I want to go around the side over here. I want to see what the underneath storage is under that passenger side of that split. So this is a 60-40, or yeah, I think I call it 60-40 split. Oh, okay. Hold that up there. Okay, there is our storage room there for Nissan. Okay, there's that, and then this comes down there, which sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not. You got to take the headrest off to get it flatter, and then deal with the seat belt. Same deal in the Ford Ranger. Okay, so let's go around the front of the Frontier and check around that as far as what the front looks like. Okay, so there are our window controls. This is a nice little styling, little orange here. Fender speakers there. Here's our controls for the mirrors. Auto down for driver and passenger. The auto down is just for the driver for the Ford Ranger. There's our controls there. We have a tow mode there. Cargo lamp, locking rear differential, because again, we do have the off-road package. This turns on the bed as far as the plug. Don't see any seat buttons for memory seats. And then controls for the radio screen. There's our controls for cruise control and things. Here's our screen. It's a vertical screen, or a horizontal screen, so it's a vertical screen. Frontier spelled out there. HVAC system. The heated and cooled seats plus heated steering wheel. USBs there. There is our shifter. Different drive modes. Wireless charger. Oh, the Ford's got a wireless charger too. I should show that off. There is our cup holders. The Fender speakers. There's that. And the Pro 4X. That's stitched in the seats. A small sunroof right there. And that's what it looks like inside the Ford Ranger. Or excuse me, the Nissan Frontier. Get my head in the game. Oh, and we have analog gauges. So I have some analog gauges with the digital display in the middle versus the Ford Ranger is full digital. Oh, and payload. Payload in this guy should never exceed 1,040 pounds. Wow. So payload is how much you can carry, including people, cargo, cell phones, water bottles, dogs, cats, whatever. So I got 500 pounds more with the Ford Ranger than I do with the Nissan Frontier. Interesting. Okay, so let's fire up the Frontier. I have the start button here. Okay, so again, those digital display in the middle, analog gauges there and there. Okay, and then over here, I have the new horizontal screen. It's a little bit bigger screen. And then I have CarPlay. I can go through different screens here, home screen, flip through the screens, see what's going on, fuel price, that kind of deal. And I can do wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, it seems. There, those two things. The thing I want to show off, I always like to point out, is cameras. So I put it in reverse. There is our backup camera. I tell you, that's fairly grainy. I think there's no other way to say that. So that is what it looks like for the Nissan Frontier. Let's check out the Ford Ranger. Okay, so inside of the Ford Ranger, turn this on, we have a full digital display. Okay, that's what that looks like. And then here is our vertical screen. That's the progressive insurance discount thing. Ignore that 3 beeps. And then there is the display there. And then this is CarPlay. I think I can go to the Ford menu. How am I not seeing it? Whatever. I can go there. There's a typical Ford menu. Orange menu built into this. Zone lighting, which is a great feature, by the way. Ford offers. Huge fan of this. Had it in my F-150 when I had it in 2021. You can press a button, it turns in different lights outside the cabin. So it turns on like the mirror lights, the rear lights, the front lights, whatever. And you can use it from your phone too. Really handy when you're camping, by the way. And then here is our cameras. Now that is not nearly as grainy. So I would say Ford wins on tech for sure. This is much more techy than Nissan Frontier. If you care about that stuff, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Okay, finally, let's talk about engines and how they drive and fuel economy. Okay, let's start with the Ford Ranger. This is a 4-cylinder engine, but it's an EcoBoost. So it's a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. So turbo is great. My wife loves turbocharged engines because it's really fast. So it's 270 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque at 3,000 RPMs. But remember I said turbo. So turbo makes a difference. So even though I only have 4 cylinders, I have the turbocharger, and once the turbocharger kicks in, it feels like it's a much bigger engine. Now there's not a lot of spooling that there used to be with turbos. So it used to be put your foot on it, wait a little bit, turbo spool off, then it was like take off, rocket ship. But they fixed a lot of that stuff. It has the 10-speed automatic transmission. That transmission has been pretty good for us. There's some problems sometimes she has between second gear and third and fourth gear, but overall, she's been really happy with the performance of this vehicle. The turbo, again, has made a difference. Now this is a direct injected engine. It doesn't have port injection, and it should get around, what's the sticker say, 20 city, 24 highway, and 22 combined. And I think last time she told me she's averaging about 21. So right around the number that it should get. Now this is a whole different story. This is a 3.8 liter V6 engine. So this is an engine that's been around for many, many years. It's a big V6, which means it's got plenty of power. 310 horsepower, 281 pound-feet of torque. So less torque than the Ford Ranger, and the torque kicks in at 4,400 RPMs, which means it kicks in later on than the Ford Ranger does. So this will feel a little bit slower offline than the Ford Ranger will with the turbo. But no turbo means a little less complex, less parts, and a lot of people believe this should be more reliable because of that piece of equation. So far, the EcoBoost family of engines with the Ford Ranger has been pretty reliable, but people still like V6 engines, naturally aspirated, no turbos. Okay, this one should get 16 city, 20 highway, 18 combined. So for the argument here with the Nissan Frontier is it should be more reliable, and you should be able to get better long-term usage out of it over the life of this engine versus the turbocharged Ford Ranger. They are both direct injected. However, the Ford Ranger will fill faster, and it does get better fuel economy. Just depends how you view them. Now, this one with the Ford Ranger, or excuse me, Nissan Frontier, has a 9-speed automatic transmission versus Ford's 10-speed. Ford's 10-speed has taken a lot of grief online, and like I told you, we've had a few issues with shifting between second and third gear and downshifting, upshifting. So there's been some issues with the overall transmission as far as whether we like it or not and whether we think it's a good transmission. The Nissan Frontier, I haven't heard anything about transmission or engines. People like it as it is, and so less issues. All right, there you go. We talked about the exterior, talked about the interior, told you about the engines, told you about differences between both trucks. Again, $3,000 difference between these two. Told you about reliability differences. Now it's your decision. What would you do? Would you have bought the Ford Ranger like we did? Again, my buying reasons for this were just based on business. I looked at analytics on the YouTube channel, on our website, and we got more clicks with Ford Ranger than we did Nissan Frontier. That was it. That's my entire buying reason. That better not be yours, unless you have a business like mine, because that makes no sense. But which one stands out to you? What did I miss? Put your comments down below. Be curious to get your thoughts. Also, check out the videos up over here. Website down below as well. pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.